Truckers talk about Dead Mile, but no one agrees where it is. Some say it's in Arizona, others claim it's deep in Kentucky, a stretch of road that only appears when the conditions are right. Thick fog, dead radio signals, and no headlights in the distance for miles. No signs, no markers, just a road that doesn't exist on any map. Most truckers don't talk about it unless you've been driving long enough. It's an initiation of sorts, a warning. And one night, I found it. I'd been on the road for nearly 12 hours straight, hauling a load through the back roads of Tennessee. My CB had been quiet all night. The usual truck stop chatter had been gone. It was late, just past 3 a.m. That's when I saw the first sign that something was off. There was another truck ahead of me. It shouldn't have been there. It was weird, but this one had no trailer, just a lone cab with a faded white paint. That wasn't the strange part, though. It had no license plate either. I eased off the gas. Something about it made my skin crawl. I wasn't about to pass it. Then my radio crackled.
Keep up.
My stomach twisted. The CB was completely off. That truck was talking to me. I felt a cold sweat bead down my forehead. I tried the CB anyway. "Who is this?" I asked. Nothing but static. Then, all of a sudden, I hear,
"Don't stop."
The truck was gone. It vanished. There was nowhere for it to even turn off. Just an endless 2-lane stretch of highway. I should have been seeing taillights, heard the roar of an engine or something, but there was nothing. The road ahead seemed darker. The sky itself felt wrong. There were no stars anymore, no moon. The highway lines looked faded, like they hadn't been painted in decades or something. That's when I realized I didn't recognize this stretch of road. I had been driving this route before, hundreds of times, but this place didn't seem right. I checked my GPS. It showed no road, just my truck, a dot in the middle of an empty blank space. I was on Dead Mile. I pressed the gas. I don't know why. Maybe instinct, maybe panic. But the second I did, my headlights flickered. And then I saw them, figures standing in the middle of the road. Not moving, not walking, just standing. Rows of them, stretching down the highway, all facing me. Their faces were blurred, like a photo taken mid-motion. Their heads twitched every few seconds, like they were trying to focus on me. My foot hovered over the brake, but my gut screamed, "Don't stop!" I gritted my teeth and I swerved past the first group, gripping the wheel as tightly as I could as I maneuvered between them. My high beams barely illuminated their bodies, but the closer I got, the more I noticed they were all wearing trucker hats. I forced myself not to look at them anymore. My heart was beating so fast, but I kept focused on the road. Then the CB crackled.
"You're almost through."
The voice was different this time, hoarse but familiar. It sounded like my dad. That wasn't possible. He had died in a crash 20 years ago. I clenched the wheel, breathing hard. I didn't respond. The road was stretched ahead endlessly. More figures, more of them facing me, and just waiting. And then I saw the truck. The same white truck from earlier. It was parked on the side of the road this time, its doors hanging wide open, and the engine was off, and someone was sitting inside the driver's seat. I drove past, refusing to look, but in my peripheral vision, I saw him. A man slumped against the seat, head tilted at an unnatural angle, his trucker hat laying on the ground, blood pooled beneath the seat. I knew that man. It was Frankie Mathis. I hadn't heard that name in years. Frankie was a driver who had vanished in 1986. No trace, no wreckage. Just gone. And yet there he was, rotting in a truck that shouldn't exist, on a road that shouldn't exist. The CB crackled one last time.
"Don't stop. Keep going."
But I didn't hesitate. I gripped the wheel and I gunned it. The road was blurry. The figures had faded. The sky seemed to ripple like heat off of a pavement. And then I was back. The stars had returned. The road looked normal again. There was fresh paint, clear signs, a truck that glowed in the distance. I pulled in, Hands were shaking. When I got out, I asked the driver that I saw first, an older guy smoking outside his rig. "What road is this?" I asked. He gave me a strange look. He just came off of 65. It was a straight shot. "No weird roads out here," he said. I started to feel sick to my stomach. I checked my GPS again. I was on the correct route. But for nearly 40 minutes, I had been driving on a highway that did not exist. I never used that route again, and I never talked about Dead Mile to anyone until now.